Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all well in the ice and snowy conditions. I'm not going to be in school today. So what I'm going to try and do for everybody is to record your maths lesson this morning so that you can access it at a time that suits you. So if you were in school today with Mrs. Porter, you'd be learning how to count in twos. So let's learn together. So here we've got lots of different representations of numbers, lots of different pictures that show us numbers. So we've got some place value counters here. We've got some numicon here, for example. So what we need to do is try to match which numbers would go with which picture, which representation. So if I was going to do it, I would look carefully at the first one. We've got number 2 here. And look at these pictures. You can clearly see in this one here, and in this one here, and this one here, I think there's more than 2. So I'm going to match 2 with this one down here. And you can see here, I've got 1 and I've got 2. So that's a fairly straightforward one done. Now just take a minute. You might want to pause the video at this point. Look at the other 3 numbers we have. Which number would match which picture? Have a little think to yourself. Okay, so let's go through what we think. So the next one here is 14. So we're going to be counting in twos. Counting in twos is a really good way to count numbers quickly. If I try to count these in ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It takes a bit of time, doesn't it? If you count in twos, it's a lot quicker. So if you look here, at this numicon, they've shaded in some of them in purple and some of them in green, and there's a reason for that. If you look at this purple one, if I count in twos, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10, we can see that there is 10 in this section here, isn't there? So we've got 10. If I count the next one, the green one, we can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. If I count in twos, 2, 4. So we can see in this one we've got 4. So we can see we've got 10 and we've got 4. So if I join these two together, it would make 14. So we join with this one here. Now look at the next one, we've got 15. Now if you look at the picture that we've just done, we know that this purple numicon here is a group of 10. So we can see these ones here, a group of 10 and another group of 10. So 10 plus 10 equals 20. So what we can do is join this with this for 20, which means the last one we've got left is 15. So the one that's left over is this one here. But let's just double check it to make sure it's right. We've got here a group of 10 here, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 plus 1, that's 5. So yeah, that's 15. Now let's look at the next slide. Oops, there we go. So we're counting in twos today. So down here I've got the number line to help us. And I've also represented it in this sequence of numbers here that are in squares. And when I count in 2, you can see it jumps over the 1 and it lands on 2. And if I jump again in 2, it jumps over 3 and lands on 4. So you can see that there, so it's gone 2 and then 4. If I jump another 2, it jumps over 5 and lands on 6. And then I jump another 2, it jumps over 7 and lands on 8. And if I jump another 2, it jumps over 9 and it lands on 10. So here we're counting in twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And you can see the numbers are also highlighted up here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now these numbers that are highlighted in blue are what we call even numbers. So even numbers end in 2, 4, 6, 8, and also 0. So these are even numbers. So a little top tip today for you all is if you are counting in 2s and for some reason you land on a number that is odd, so a number that's not even. So if you land on numbers 1 or 3 or 5 or 7 or 9, you might have made a little mistake somewhere. So what can we count in 2s? You might want to think about all the things that you can see outside or in your house that come in pairs. So let's think about things we can count in 2s. Have a little think to yourself. One thing that I can think of are things like gloves. I put my gloves on yesterday when I was icing my car. So there's 2 gloves that come in pairs, don't they? So you might count them in 2s. Socks are another thing. If you're counting how many socks you've got, maybe if you've just done the laundry or you're helping sort the clothes into drawers at home, you can count in 2s. Eyes come in 2s. Maybe you've got playing cards that come in 2s. You sometimes get numbers on dice. That means you need to count in 2s. You might have different objects. You've got 2 flowers. This picture of a pig's got 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 hands, 2 feet, lots of different types of 2s. This bicycle's got 2 wheels, so maybe you need to count in 2s and the number of wheels there are. So here, what we've got is we've got some number counters. And what we're going to try and do is sort those number counters in 2s to help us jump in 2s. So if I sort the first 2, you can see that we've skipped on the number line and we've landed on 2. If I do another 2, I land on 4. If I do another 2, I land on 6. I sort another 2 and I land on 8. And on my last 2, I land on 10. So when you're counting, I'm just going to go back. When you're counting a set of objects, so here I've got these objects. So if you've got lots of different things, could be maybe different sweets, different coins, different toys. Whenever you're counting in 2, the top tip to make it a lot quicker is counting your 2s. And you can do that by grouping them. So for example, if I was going to count these objects in 2s, I might try to group them in 2s. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. So that's another way that you can group objects easily. Let's just skip to the next slide. Okay, so here we've got ducks. So we want to guess how many ducks there are. And we're going to do that by counting in 2s. So look at all the ducks there are. You might want to pause the video to look at the number of ducks there are. Count in 2s. How many ducks can you see? So let's sort them and see. So we've got 2. We've got 4. We've got 6. And we've got 8. So there's 8 ducks altogether. 2, 4, 6, 8. So now we're going to count how many mittens there are. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now you can see here that we've got quite a lot of mittens. And I wonder if you can see a pattern with numbers on our numbers lines here. So look at these numbers here and look at these numbers down below. I wonder if you can spot a pattern. What's the same with these numbers? So hopefully you would have noticed the pattern is they both have the same set of 1s. So let's have a look, for example, at these numbers here. We've got 2 and we've got 12. So you can see here they both contain 2 1s. The only thing that's slightly different is they've been given this extra 1, and that 1 means 10, doesn't it? It's 10. It's the same for the other ones as well. Look at these ones we've got here. we've got 4 and 14. Both share 4 ones, but they've got a 110. Use the same one here. You've got 6 ones, and 16 also has 6 ones. And then you can see here we've got here 8 ones, and then 18 also has 8 ones. So there's a pattern that you can use to help you. If I continue this pattern on, I could have, for example, 22 or 24, 26, 28. Okay, and the same thing for these ones here. So I've got 10 and then 20. So you can see in these two numbers, they both share 0 ones, and the ones have gone up as well. So if I carry on counting in twos, the next number I'm going to have is 30. So here we've got some I's. 2, 4, 6, 8. So we can count in twos. So we've got 8 so far. Now we've got some extra ones. So now we can still carry on. And what you can do sometimes, if you start with a number, so here we can see here that we've got 8. So we can circle, we've got 8. If we've been given some extra things to count on afterwards, you don't always need to start at the beginning again. What you can do is start on the number we've got up to, so 8. And now we've got some more. So we'll start on 8 and we'll carry on counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We've got 10 more I's. So I've got 2. So now I'm on to 10. If I add another 2 on, I've got 12. I've had another 2 on, I've got 14. If I do another 2, I've got 16. And if I've got another 2, I now have 18. So altogether, they're 18 I's. Now, we can also try to take away twos, so you can count backwards in twos as well. So here we've got some cartons of orange juice, and we've got a number line. Let's work out how many cartons of orange juice we've got. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. So we've got 12 cartons of orange juice. Now, if we take some orange juice away, we can count backwards on our number line and see how many we've got left. So let's see what happens. If somebody takes some, we now have 10 cartons of orange juice. If someone takes another 2 cartons away, we now have 8 cartons of orange juice left. And if we take another 2 cartons away, we've got 6 left. So before another person comes along and takes it, we can probably guess that if we take another 2 away, we're going to have 4 left. And if I take another 2 away, I should have 2 left. Which means if we take these last 2 cartons away, we'll have nothing left at all. So you can do that as well. You can count backwards in twos as well. And once you get used to counting in twos, you'll recognize these numbers really quickly. So here, counting in twos, we've got a number square here. These ones go all the way up to 50. And you can see, as we said before, you can see that the ones stay the same, but the tens are going up by 1. So here we've got some shaded in twos. So here's 32. So if I count another 2, I'm now going to have 34. If I count another 2, I'm now going to have 36. If I count another 2, 38. If I count another 2, I've got 40. So if I count another 2 from 40, I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning over here. I should be landing on this one here, because you can see with all the other numbers that are shaded in, that's a big clue to help us. So the next one we should have is 42, 44, 46, 48, and 50. So you can see each of these columns, each of these towers of numbers, they share the same amount of ones, but the tens are different. So here, I've got lots of these loaves of bread. We're going to count in twos, try and work out how many loaves of bread we've got. And to do that, I think it's best to group them into twos to help us. So what I'm going to do is just put a line through each of the twos to help me count them. So let's see how many bread rolls there are. So here I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36. So we can see altogether we've got 36 bread rolls. So counting in twos can be a lot quicker. Okay, so the last question that I want us to think about is this one here. Here we've got some missing numbers. So when we've got ones that look like this, we've been given a number line and they're counting in twos, but this time you might notice this one's got 5 tens, this one's got 4 tens. So you might notice these numbers are actually going down. The numbers are going smaller. Now, you might remember there's a pattern when you count in twos, and you might be able to spot that right now. But the numbers, the one numbers, will be even. So this one ends in a 0, then this one ends in a 6. This one ends in an 8, and this one ends in a 6. Now, if I go look at my number chart to help me, I've got my first one here, it's 50. So if I look on my number line, there's 50. And now I'm going to count backwards in 2. 1, 2. So I've got 48. 1, 2. Now I've got 46. So if I count back 2 more, I should land on the missing number. 1, 2. So the missing number here must be 44. So let's put this down in our chart. I reckon it's 44. So we landed here. Now, if I go back another 2, I should land on 42. So let's go back. 1, 2. Oh yeah, look, there's 42. So I must be right. Now be careful, if I count backwards 2, I'm gonna have to be careful here because I've got 1, but I haven't got a number over here. So I need to start all the way at the beginning again. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna come all the way around and start again on 40. So there's my 40. And now I want to count back 2 again. So 1, 2. 38. So the next one here must be 38. And I'm just going to double check. If I count back 2, I should reach 36. So let's do that. 1, 2, 36. Yes. So I can be pretty happy now that 44 and 38 are the correct numbers. Right, everybody. So what you're going to do, so I'll just quickly go through these. Oops. What you're going to do is you are going to now go and start your worksheet. Have a go at doing the rest of the worksheets for today. Hopefully you found that video helpful, and because it's a video, you'll be able to stop and pause it so that you can pause the bits that you need to look at again or to practice again. And also you'll be able to access this video whenever it suits you today as well. So I hope you have a lovely day, and fingers crossed, I will see you tomorrow morning like normal. See you later, everybody.